It's still in a bit in its early phases, but so it's kind of tweaking out. I don't know why. Oh, okay, it's working.
KVK number to the footer. What's your KVK number?
I'll just type something random because
All right, I think most everything's working now. Or if I'm just nothing's updating, that's fantastic. So we're not in the right spot. Okay, sorry about yesterday's stream. I don't know why the stream wasn't even working. Like, for whatever reason, the it doesn't record anything. So that sucked. But today I think I have it fixed. So hopefully we won't have a problem today. I've moved to restream, but yeah, we're going back to the design stuff, because we're trying to figure out how to build mobile apps during design. But yeah, that is what we're going to do today. Let me just put this in probably both the chats. I can just do it right here. Studio. Or, no, go to my channel. Like, working on learning design for with ultimate goal being building a mobile app. Type search for FAQ for more info. In this and do the same thing on here. Hey, I'm not listening to this. Well, I probably won't be listening to anything, but it's not the vibe. I guess Nightbot is not working on Twitch. Not surprising. Oh no, I think whatever. Doesn't matter, nobody watches me on Twitch anyways. Except later. See, this is pretty annoying. 1 second. Hey, that should be somewhat better. Hey, yeah, let's get back to the tutorial. That is the tutorial.
This time, we're going to be continuing with designing the status screens. Last time, we finished designing the loading screen, which was very simple, minimal.
This guy had a beginner course too.
So,
No, it has this one.
but it gets the job done. So then we're going to be
I don't even
continuing
remember
with the
what was
same
going
idea
on.
of status screens. And we're going to be creating the error screen. Now this video probably will be very short since we covered most of the stuff we need already in the last video. So let's just get into the error page or error screen and let's just design it. So I'm just going to duplicate this loading screen here. I'm just going to duplicate it.
Hello, Mr. P710. Thank you for tuning to the stream. Job's going great. I am off today for my 3-day weekend, but everything's going good there. Learning a lot. Are you doing man with whatever you're working on?
And most of the elements that we included in the loading screen should also apply to the error, right? So for example, we already set up the status bar for Android phones here up top, and that is something that will be consistent all throughout our design process, all of our screens and all of our pages. Also, we should be renaming this to error and this position is properly, then let's just continue. So we have two elements here, and these two elements are the ones that are going to be changing. Let's start from the easiest one, and it's the text, right? So the text would be very simple. I'm just going to call it error. Or we can just say something went wrong, or we could say instead actually could not retrieve or get channels. Channels here implying radio channels, because this is a radio app. So retrieve or get channels. Channels here implying
How did you leave your gaming addiction? I'm kind of in the same position. I see CLLG finished in 2025. I'm still jobless. Trying to find a job, but this gaming addiction is still bothering me. That is a great question. I would say what helped me the most. I mean, it was a couple different things. One thing was like I came back from school the year before I started this YouTube channel, and like, oh, college, okay. I came back from school, and like, I remember I was with my dad, and we were talking about like me getting the loan and stuff. And my dad's credit was kind of bad for a lot of different reasons, and like, it just felt really strange in that moment when I was like looking at that, seeing like the fact that my dad was struggling because of all the bad decisions I'd made and like all the bad grades I'd made. Like I still went in college, so that really shook me up. I think that kind of was a wake up call for me to be like, I kind of have to lock in. But I think also for me was honestly not focusing. I think a big problem I had, the reason I played so many video games is because I felt like I wasn't good enough to do other things. Like I wasn't good enough to do schoolwork. I wasn't good enough to do like coding. I felt like I had no potential because I was always comparing myself to other people. I would just get in my head all the time. So, starting this channel, I think helped me a lot with that. Like understanding that, you can accomplish things in real life that may seem hard and you think you can't do. But if you just, show up every day and like work at it, eventually you get better, like anything. So I think, for me, like putting the concept out of my head of like, I have to, I have to do everything perfectly. I have to get everything the first time. You know, those thoughts like always set me back and cause me to like be lazy and be like, what's the point of trying at all? When I could just play a video game. So yeah, I think that for me, doing this channel helped me like recognize that if I just show up every day, I could get better. And over time, as I kept doing this, I became more interested in coding than I did in video games. And like, now I'm back to it again. It's kind of a bad explanation. I do want to make a video on this eventually. I don't know. It's kind of a hard thing to talk about. Not everybody has the same experience. Sam, I kind of believe the same. Oh, just leave me ahead of me while I'm stuck here. Yeah, you definitely have that, especially around other really smart people. So yeah, that always made me depressed and be like, I don't want to try. Like I'll just play a game instead. But forcing myself to do this every day helped. So should I also start keeping tabs on progress by streaming it? If you want to stream and you're comfortable with doing it, you can. I will say that you are going to receive kind of bogus hate comments. People always hate on you. I personally did not have a lot of problems with that because I I've been on social media for a while, so like people leaving hate comments did not really affect me at all. But to me, like streaming it helped with, because some people love positive comments. It was like a way to keep myself accountable. I could look at my channel and see, I didn't post on X day, but you don't have to. You don't even have to post your videos. You can just keep them unlisted. I used to come before also when you didn't have a job. Okay, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for tuning in. Saying eat junk, sleep, game, repeat. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard because those things are designed to they're designed to make you feel good, even though the rest of your life might not be feeling good. Yeah, I'm scared that random stranger judge me. Yeah, it's it's an unfortunate thing. Fortunately, I didn't receive like absurd amount of hate comments. I only received a couple, but I know some people wouldn't deal well with that. So you feel like that might be a problem for you. You can stream, but like you can like turn the comments off. Maybe not. You can just decide unlisted videos if you want. There's a lot of ways around that, but you don't have to. Just having a tracker on a piece of paper or, yeah. Develop CS. Okay. A Counter Strike. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really like to look at it that way because there are some games I think are, especially a lot of mobile games, are very predatory on people. I think people, developers, they do want to make a fun game. But obviously people also want to make money, and some games focus too much on the money part. So the way I look at it is like games themselves are not necessarily bad. It's just that they unfortunately can be very addicting. Unfortunately, can ruin somebody's life. I wouldn't go out and say that a game is necessarily evil. Yeah, maybe I'll just stream so that I won't jump into anime or YouTube stuff or gaming. Yeah, that's another good thing too, right? Because like if you're streaming, it feels like even if nobody's watching you, it feels like someone might watch it. So like you're normally more productive, I think. Um, yeah, you don't have to. You can turn comments off, um, or just block people that do leave hate comments. I mean, one thing you have to remember is the people that do say stuff like that uh, are normally people that are just not doing well in life or just having a bad day or something. So I'm pretty sure if you ran to them in real life, they wouldn't say the same thing. Yeah, no problem, man. I have a lot of time today. This is part of streaming. You kind of have to talk to people. Hey, go ahead and ask your question.
Radio channels, because this is a radio app. So yeah, okay, great. So after that, we want to change this illustration. And if you remember last time, if we go to assets and we have these two sad faces, and obviously we discussed on how we have to change them up a bit. So let's actually do that. First,
What do you think? I should do a graduate in artificial intelligence and data science, a dual degree, bachelor's, master's, 5 years degree. Should I lock in studying Python and SQL and AI and build projects? Graduate in artificial intelligence and data science. See, I think there are a lot of. Should I try to be a jack of all trades and React and Flutter web development along with other stuff? I think in general, being a jack of all trades is not the greatest idea. Even if you're going to web development, you should probably focus more on one version of web development. But like in regards to graduating in AI, I feel like AI has a lot of jobs right now. Yeah, certainly, right? I mean, I guess the only problem is if you want to be like a researcher, you would have to get a PhD, probably, which I would say is probably not a great idea if you don't have the money for it. But if I were you, with the way the job market is right now, I do know a lot of people, like a lot of people that I graduated with, are still haven't found jobs. So you're from India, okay, yeah. If I were you, I would probably go into web development, learn whatever is in demand in uh yeah, I can imagine it's probably pretty hard for India as well. It's yeah. It's fortunate. I would probably go into web development because like that's always where you have the most jobs. Like figure out like what language is in demand where you are. So like a lot of people do like in America anyways, they do a lot of Java and like Ruby on Rails and stuff. There are always lots of jobs in these, and obviously JavaScript and TypeScript, probably the biggest ones. But I think if you can get like I don't have the most prestigious job. I don't have the greatest salary or anything, but like it is a software engineering job, and like if I work here for a couple years, the probability of me getting a better one later when the market is better is a lot higher. So if I were you, I would go for web development because it's probably easier to get in. And then like if you can get in, you'll have a much higher chance in the future. That's what I would do. Are you? Because AI is obviously it's harder to learn, and like there's more competition obviously because it's very hyped up right now. So that would be my thing, and like I think you can if you can show somebody you can code, like it doesn't matter that you have an AI and data science. That's close enough to computer science to be good enough in my opinion. But yeah, that's what I would do. I know it's really hard out there. You just got to keep grinding, keep applying a whole bunch. It's really hard times right now with all the economy and all the AI stuff. It's kind of annoying. But I think if you stay consistent, there almost always is a job out there, even if it's not amazing.
I'm gonna call. Do you want to get into mobile app design?
Oh my days.
This time we're gonna be continuing with designing the skills. Now this video, so let's just get into the error page or error screen and let's just design it. So I'm just gonna duplicate this loading screen here. I'm just gonna duplicate it. And most of the elements that we included in the loading screen should also apply to the error, right? So for example, we already set up the status bar for Android phones here up top. And that is something that will be consistent all throughout our design process, all of our screens and all of our pages. Also, we should be rename this to error. And let's position it properly, then let's just continue. So we have two elements here, and these two elements are the ones that are going to be changing. Let's start from the
No
easiest
problem,
one
man.
and use the
Anytime.
text, right? So the text will be very
You
simple.
got
I'm just going to call
this.
it error. Or we can just say something went wrong, or we could say instead actually could not retrieve or get channels. channels here implying radio channels because this is a radio app. So yeah, okay, great. So after that, we want to change this illustration. And if you remember last time, if we go to assets and we have these two sad faces, and obviously we discussed on how we have to change them up a bit. So let's actually do that. First of all, let's start from the face here. and the face should be, since we're on a darker background, I would want them to be visible enough, but since this is an error screen, I don't want them to have high visual hierarchy. So what we can do, what the best method I know for this is to go to your background color. In this case, it is 111. And on Figma, the nice thing is by just selecting the hex value and going up or down on your keyboard, you can navigate different colors. So I'm going to be doing that, going up a bit here. Something like this maybe would work. Let's just go a little lighter. And now let's go over to the shadow. Here, 111 is the shadow. So we can go first to our base value here, which is 222 for the face. And the shadow is just a bit darker than that. So we're going to go down, something like this, which is very nice. Then the facial details. I want to go full white because it's the most visible. Then I want to just decrease it a bit, going to some sort of gray color here. Okay. Great, so these are the final outputs from our illustrations, right? So obviously we are using different colors in this case. So what we want to do is we want to take them and apply some variables to them. First of all, this would be not included in the base variables. Instead, it will be included under illustrations. So this is a lighter gray, for example. So we're going to call it gray, around 700, but it's going to be for illustrations. So we're going to do 2 hyphens, then illustration. Or we can just say ILL, that's indicating illustrations. We're gonna go over here and we're gonna do the same thing for this one. I believe this is okay. Let's just return this here. Okay, so this is the shadow. So let's go apply gray around 200 or 300, let's say 300, and it's going to be for illustrations. Now we don't need to include these illustrations in the branding here because it's not part of the brand. They are just simply colors we are using and creating our illustrations and assets and points of visual interest in general. So last one is this here. So we're going to go give it gray 200 ILL. Okay, great. So we have our illustrations set up. Now what we want to do is we want to go apply components here. Start face egg, this one, meaning start face for with an egg shape, you can see. And this is more rounded, more circular. It's not perfect circle, by the way. So maybe you can say it's a sphere, but no problem. Like we can just call it start face circle. Now we can just copy these two, go back to design page here, and we can just paste them in. Let's get them inside here, and let's set them up. So the way I want this to be is, first of all, I want to make them a bit smaller. Then I want to take them, make them face each other in terms of their rotation by just rotating them just a bit here. Okay, so something we have to notice here is the shadows. So if we take this part here as the light source, okay, if we take this part here as the light source, it works. But I'm assuming what most people would, okay, this is a bit cryptic and it's not really UI UX design, it's more graphics design. But it's generally, I think light sources are expected to be on the top left. So shadows are expected to be on the bottom right here because people see from left to right and you don't want people to see the shadows first, but rather the main content. You don't really have to care too much about this. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to the assets here and I'm going to select each of them and I'm going to flip it horizontally. And you don't really have to care too much about this. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to the assets here and I'm going to select each of them and I'm going to flip it horizontally. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Right, so I'm just going to go back now, and since these are components, okay, so for some reason it does not apply. Okay, I think it's because we have already changed the rotation. If we just go here, reset instance here, reset instance, or let's just copy them again here. I think that's the best way of doing it. Let's take this, go back to the design. Let's take them, reduce their size. Let's take this one and this one. Let's make them face each other. and we have to do some changes here to get them right, including flipping this horizontally and doing something like this. Great. So maybe now the light source is up top here, and you can see the shadow is not the focal point of the illustration. That's not really something you have to worry about. Just know that when you are presenting an illustration, either in your web design or mobile design, you typically want the illustration to focus more on the detail than the shadow to be an afterthought. So you want to give the shadow a little bit less visual hierarchy. So in this case, we are doing that by making it at the back. So yeah, just something to think about. We're just going to now be placing them correctly here in terms of each other. So now let's take these, get them a bit closer, and let's take them, right click, and you can group selection here, or the easiest way of doing it is selecting a Control G on your keyboard, Control G, and this will be the accent or illustration. So I'm just going to cut this here and go over here and just Control Shift R. And let's just fix some stuff here. Actually, let's do the same thing here. So I want to Control Shift R. And so I'm just going to cut this here and go over here and just Control Shift R. And let's just fix some stuff here. Actually, let's do the same thing here. So I want to be centering it. Exactly. So now what we can do is, I think there's a bit more of space here for some reason, because obviously when you rotate your elements here, they have extra spaces. So I think the best way of doing it is to just maybe crop it out. Okay, how are we going to do this? Let's take this and make it a frame selection. When you make a group of frame selection, you can easily just edit it without changing the inner element size. And obviously, when you rotate your elements here, they have extra spaces. So I think the best way of doing it is to just maybe crop it out. Okay, how are we going to do this? Let's take this and make it a frame selection. When you make a group of frame selection, you can easily just edit it without changing the inner element size and like proportions, right? So we can hold and drag this. You can go very deep to see the pixels here, and that's perfect. So having this now, we can actually just rename this illustrations. Let's actually go in here and ungroup it. Obviously, we want to clip content, but it doesn't matter because it's not really outside of anything. And it doesn't need to be clipped, but if it gets outside, it will be clipped here. You can see. Okay, very nice. Now we have everything set up. We just need to center it, right? So center it, then make sure equal spacing all around. Right? So center it, then make sure equal spacing all around. Something like this, yeah. Okay, so one thing remains actually. So one thing remains here, which is we need a button for it. Obviously, if this is an error page, we don't want to just say there's an error. We want to say there is an error. Would you like to try again, right? So in that case, for example, to center it, right? So center it, then make sure equals.
Just completely view that whole time. How do I remove the frame selection? And Shift G. Go. Is it not the correct size? That looks correct. Just do that manually. Center there. It's fine.
Spacing all around. Something like this, yeah. Okay, so one thing remains actually. So one thing remains here, which is we need a button for it. Obviously, if this is an error page, we don't want to just say there's an error. We want to say there's an error. Would you like to try again, right? So in that case, for example, we want to just create a button here, and I'm just going to create a new page. I'm going to call this page components here, and let's create a button here in the design first. And this button will be called try again. Okay, so now we have the base font for it, and I want to add some extra visual hierarchy. So I'm just going to go and make the base font semi-bold, and I'm just going to create a new one here. I'm going to call this base SM for base semi-bold. Obviously, since I've done that, I want to go back to branding, and I want to go down, and I want to duplicate this. Obviously, put the top down here, branding, and I want to go down, and I want to duplicate this. Obviously, put the top down here, base SM here, or base small. Actually, let's large top left here. Everything should be small. Base SM, large, or duplicate this. Send base font semi-bold, and I want to add some extra visual. We have the base font for it, and I want to add some extra visual hierarchy. So I'm just going to go and make the base font semi-bold, and I'm just going to create a new one here. I'm going to call this base SM for base semi-bold. Obviously, since I've done that, I want to go back to branding, and I want to go down, and I want to duplicate this. Obviously, put the top down here, base SM here, or base small. Actually, let's large top left here. Everything should be small. Base SM. This is 14 pixels, but the difference is it's being semi-bold. So now we can just apply it here. Great.
What the hell? Oh, there it goes. Very cool.
base SM. This is 14 pixels, but the difference is it's being semi-bold. So now we can just apply to
lining back up. Just magically fix itself. Okay. I don't even know what I did
here.
there.
Everything should be small. Base SM. This is 14 pixels, but the difference is it's being semi-bold. So now
Oh,
we
I
can
just
just apply
changed
here.
all.
Great. Forget this here. Now, okay, we continue. Let's go back to the design and let's add some extra icons to make it more popping, right? So I'm going to go to my Figma files and I have this icon pack. It's called the XNIX icon pack. It's one of my favorite icon packs on Figma, and you can just search for it in the community. It's very popular and I really recommend it here. So for the whole project, we're going to be using icons from this icon pack. Now, I remember that there was an icon for refreshing. I don't remember.
Well, I'm not going to be using this. Oh no, I guess I can.
Remember where it was, but I do remember that there was one here. Okay, so we just want to go in and just take the icon here. We're just going to copy it, paste it here. Okay, so let's make it white for now, and Control Alt and O here to change it into a resizable vector, and this will be reset. And now before we do anything here, I want to cut it, go to assets and create a new frame for this.
Oh, I never need to.
And I'm gonna call this frame illustrations, icons.
Template gave.
And just add some auto layouts, prepare it 64 by 64. And let's position it correctly here. Okay, so 2 pixels. And now we can just, let's go around 12 pixels here. And let's make it into a component. And I just want to copy it from here, go back to design, and just paste it here. So now we want to take these two, and this is going to be our danger button, right? So, or reset button maybe. Let's call it reset button. So reset, we don't need to say button, we can just say BTN. And let's go smaller gap, 8 pixels, center alignment. And we want to go in here and we want to give it some additional padding on the sides. I'm going to go on the sides 24 pixels and 12 pixels top and bottom here. And I'm just going to go give it a fill. Now here, there are some elements to consider. Do we make the fill red to indicate an immediate action? 24 pixels and 12 pixels top and bottom here. And I'm just going to go give it a fill. Now here, there are some elements to consider. Do we make the fill red to indicate an immediate action? Or do you want to make it a lighter gray of sorts to like not have too much of a visual hierarchy? So which route are we taking is the question. So obviously, if we are in this situation, the best thing the user can do to make the app work is to retry, right? So it's going to be red. So to maintain maximum visual hierarchy, I'm going to go with our brand color, okay? So most of the time, for ears, you see red or some colors closer to red. And I'm considering it here. And you can just, sometimes you can see how elements look by just changing the colors here. Around something like this, for example, it doesn't look bad. And if we could maybe go something like this or white. For some reason, okay, it says mixed for some unknown reason here. Let's just go. It says the black is the most visual hierarchy element, so white doesn't work here. So let's just select them and make them into a darker red here. Something like this. And I want this to have rounded edges. I want this to be like the style of the design. Also, something we forgot is we don't want to make this 12 pixels. I'm going to go around 8 pixels here. And maybe this is thinner that I want here. Let's just copy it again. We would have to Ctrl-Shift-R, paste and replace here. Let's make some adjustments. I'm gonna go 2 pixels on the weight, or maybe even 2.5. So like that might be too much actually. Okay, let's go 2.25 or 2.125. Okay, let's go back to 2. That's fine. So let's go to 2, and this is gonna be resets icon. Ctrl-Alt-O. Then let's just take this.
Take notice icon pack. That's pretty good. Nice.
Take it, component, copy it, go back to the design, Ctrl-Shift-R. Now let's take this from 16, let's decrease it to around 12 here works actually. So now we can take this and we can apply the regular red color here. So something like this, yeah. Now we want this to be rounded, so I'm just going to go to the corner radius, and we can apply a large number. What I would like to do is I want to go 999 for rounded corners, and we can actually just go here and set this as our full to be rounded. So I'm just going to go to the corner radius, and we can apply a large number. What I would like to do is I want to go 999 for rounded corners, and we can actually just go here and set this as our full rounded. That means, right? So now we just created that, and this looks very nice. What we can do here is we can take this and cut it. Actually, is this visible? Yeah, it is. Okay, so obviously always check the contrast between the background and this element here. So let's just cut it. Go to components, and let's call this BTNs. This frame will hold all of our buttons. So now let's go make this gray 100, paste it here. Obviously we want to make this a frame 32, 64 by 64. And we want to make this just hot content everywhere. Great, so now let's just take this, and we have 2 colors that we don't really have in our branding. So that's, and go 999 for rounded corners, and we can actually just go here and set this as our full rounded. That means, right? So now we just created that, and this looks very nice. What we can do here is we can take this and cut it. Actually, is this visible? Yeah, it is. Okay, so obviously always check the contrast between the background and this element here. So let's just cut it. Go to components, and let's call this BTNs. This frame will hold all of our buttons. So now let's go make this gray 100, paste it here. Obviously we want to make this a frame 32, 64 by 64. And we want to make this just hot content everywhere. Great, so now let's just take this, and we have 2 colors that we don't really have in our branding. So let's just do that. And these are our danger colors or red colors. You can call it whatever you want. To be specific, I'm going to say this is danger 500. And this is actually, it's not only for danger, it's also for many different purpose use cases. So I'm just going to maybe change it up here. Let's go to variables. Let's go back to danger 500. Let's edit it. I'm going to call it red. Let's go to variables. Let's go back to purpose use cases. So I'm just going to maybe change it up here. Let's go to variables. Let's go back to danger 500. Let's edit it. I'm going to call it red. red 500. Here, red 500, and this is the darkest red we can get, so red 100. Great, so now we have to go back to branding, and let's go here. Let's take these two, get them down to give this more of a space. Okay, now from this, we can call this, let's apply red 500, 100, duplicate it, red 100. Now let's take these two and put them side by side. Obviously, we said that the darkest should be at the start. So yeah, this will be our red colors. Now let's just put everything back where it belongs, here around 32. So you can see how our branding guide is growing, both in terms of the font, the typography, and in terms of the colors. Great, so let's just continue here. Going back to components, I want to select this, and I want to make it a frame, a component, right? So after this, let's just copy it, go back to design, and I want to paste it here. Now let's take this here, and instead of main, I'm going to name this content, and I'm going to take this. Now I'm going to group this into main. Let's get it down. Now you want to have spacing in terms of from the highest to the lowest connectivity.
Why it's not it? Using following. Oh, it's like it's had its own auto. Oh yeah, so it's all framed. This is that. There we go. Red 500. Hey.
See, right? So, for example, these two are 24 pixels apart, these two elements, right? That's because they are more connected to each other than this is connected with this. So we want more space between elements that are less connected. In purpose, in information. Sorry, a component, right? So after this, let's just copy it, go back to design, and I want to paste it here. Now let's take this here, and instead of main, I'm going to name this content, and I'm going to take this. Now I'm going to group this into main. Content, paste it here. Now let's take this here, and instead of main, I'm going to name this content, and I'm going to take this. Now I'm going to group this into main.
It just stretched out like that.
Let's get it down. Now you want to have spacing in terms of from the highest to the lowest connectivity, right? So, for example, these two are 24 pixels apart, these two elements, right? That's because they are more connected to each other than this is connected with this. So we want more space between elements that are less connected, in purpose, in information, and in visual style. So let's go 32 actually, from 24, 32. So I always have this rule of using multiples of 4 and 6, right? So no, I think it's called the multiples of 8 rule, but there are some numbers that sneak in. So there are most of the time multiples of 4, 6, and 8. So for example, here we have 24 pixel gap, which is multiples of both 6, 4, and 8. Here we have 32 pixel gap, which is, I think, again, multiples of 8 and 4. I don't think it is multiples of 6. It's not, actually, it's not. So it is multiples of 4 and 8. So like it has to fit within that sphere. Most of the time you can do with just multiples of 6. But in this case, we're just adding some multiples of 4 as well. So hopefully that's clear, and we have our final design here. Let's just center it and make sure to have enough space on the top and bottom here, making everything consistent. I think this is perfect. Okay. So this will be our loading page and error page. Hopefully most of the stuff we covered here is very clear. Obviously, so far we haven't done too much. It's very, what you would call, it's a very small progress when you look at it. But we have covered so many stuff here. And if you have any questions, please, again, as I always say, feel free to drop them down below in the comments. I know some stuff might not be the clearest thing, so I would love to take your questions for the next video. Yeah, that's all for today. And next time we should be starting to design the actual app UI, more of the technical part. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, thanks for watching. Till next time. Goodbye.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop the stream right here. I'm gonna come back later. Yeah, some food. Starving. Yeah, I will be back in a couple of hours. Maybe fix some stream stuff. It's still weird, but thank you guys for tuning in. Keep grinding this. I'm not sure if this is the greatest tutorial to pick because I don't think I really need to go so in depth on everything about Figma, but definitely I'm learning a lot about it. Probably should have picked a short tutorial, but these videos I'm going to keep grinding out. So yeah, see you in the next one.